What is up, everybody? This is Terrell back with another review of an old TV show. And today's TV show I will be reviewing is Ugly Betty. And before we begin with this is my review, this is my opinion on this show and everything. If I missed something important, I apologize. But no more talking, let's get into it. Ugly Betty was an American TV show that first premiered on television on September 28, 2006, all the way through April 13, 2010 on ABC. It stars America Ferrera as Betty Suarez, the main protagonist of the series, starting off as an assistant to secondary main character Daniel Meade before transitioning into an executive producer for a brand new London magazine by the end of the series. To be honest, after finishing the entire show, I really liked it a lot. It was good to me. It had characters that were relatable in today's society 10 years ago and right now. It showed that if you work hard or sometimes beg at something, then it could lead to something that's called success. It could lead to amazing success. And it also talked about with the show that just because you achieve success, you will always face some kind of problems throughout the way, or you will face some terrible losses. And that's what happened throughout the entire series with Ugly Betty. Season 1 begins with Betty Suarez applying at Mode magazine for a job, and before she even gets the interview, she gets immediately denied entrance. And to be honest, if this happened in real life due to someone's personality of how they look, that would be beyond petty and foul at the same time. Because the reason why she was denied entry was due to her personality as a geek and being ugly to probably everyone that's around. She eventually gets hired by Bradford Meade and becomes the personal assistant of the Mode magazine co-editor Daniel Meade. And throughout this season, we see the two at first not like each other. Well, Betty not liking Daniel after he tries to embarrass her in many situations, but the relationship of the two improves through the season, which is good. And as for the other characters, such as Mark and Amanda, they've been working at Mode for many years, and they treat Betty like she is a new kid at school. They treat her like fresh meat, and they taunt her and mess with her every single day, and it was just not right, to be honest. Some of the other plots that was in season 1 included a mysterious woman's appearance with another character who was known as Wilhelmina Slater, that was played by Vanessa Williams. With Vanessa Williams' character Wilhelmina, I did not like her. I swear, like, she did a lot of just devious things to get whatever she wants. And the sad thing is, there are people in the world that are just like Vanessa Williams' character Wilhelmina, that they will do anything it takes just to get whatever they want, and they don't care on who gets hurt along the way or dies. But she did play the living heck out of that role. She did play Wilhelmina very well, and I liked that a lot. I would say that another plot that was really shocking to me was in an episode when they was at a fashion show, and when the mystery woman finally made an appearance and was talking to Daniel, and Daniel was thinking about sleeping with her to get some cake and pie. But then when she pops up on the stage to interrupt Daniel and Bradford Meade's, Daniel's father, announcement, and said that she was really the long presumed to be dead brother of the Meads, that was shocking. Because in today's time, I don't want to sound politically incorrect, a lot of people that are transgender like to not tell people what they were before. And I know that not everyone is like that. I understand, but there are some that are just foul like that, who won't even say what they were before. And when it happens, when a person finds out, they black out. And I've heard some pretty horrible stories because of that. But anyways, Daniel was pretty disturbed after that, and that was very disturbing, to be honest, because yeah, it was really disturbing. But none of the less, the first season of this show, it was really good to me. Each episode was pretty good, as it had every character going through their own personal drama, with some being more serious than the others. And if I were to rate this season out of 10, I would give this probably a good 8.5, 9 range. And the reason why it's not given a perfect 10, because there was some little plots in there that could have been left out, and that ruined it for season 1. But it is what it is, and yes, that is season 1 for you. Now in season 2 continues the journey of Betty Suarez and the other characters at Mode Magazine, and there is more drama and more outcomes in this season, like I say. So in this season, we see that Betty is in a love triangle with 2 new characters that were introduced this season: Daniel, the accountant, and Gio, the deli owner. And it goes back and forth between the 2 and Betty before she is somewhat forced to make a choice by the end of the season. She and her sister Hilda and Hilda's son Justin also deal with the aftermath of her father in Knoxville deciding to stay in Mexico after it was discovered in the last season that he was an illegal alien and that he had been on the U.S. for many years without, I guess, registering and things like that. But thanks to Wilhelmina, he becomes an American citizen, and that's a good story because he is still there for the entire family throughout the rest of the season in the U.S. Daniel Mead's mother and Alexis Mead's mother gets locked up for the killing of Faye Summers, and who turns out to be Amanda's mother after she finds out, before she escapes with another inmate, and they travel through the world, eventually turning herself in because of talking to Bradford one last time before he left the world, and then somehow getting acquitted for catching a body due to the poisonous perfume that makes you go 5150 if you spray it on yourself. Bradford meets, in the meantime, before his death, he decides to divorce Claire and to marry Wilhelmina, which is a part of her plans to get a hold of Mead Publications, only for her plan to fail after Bradford's sudden heart attack took a horrible turn, which was in the hospital, which led to death. And then, after pulling some straight FUCKERY with erasing the entire magazine and the computer system, she tries to start her own magazine, Slater, which avails to nowhere. And if I owned a huge magazine company and I knew that she had did that, I would have to get her locked up, because that was so wrong. I don't care how long you've been with the company. If you wasn't such a then I probably would promote you, but you're too evil. And I don't understand, like, why didn't they fire her? Yes, I understand she was somewhat helpful in the magazines, but still though, if this happened in the real world, her ass would have been out of here a long time ago. And that's Wilhelmina for you. She will do anything, whatever it takes to get wherever she wants. And I would say throughout the entire series of her never getting her way, I would say that happened like a good 30 to 40% time. But I think the one moment that I really didn't like about this season, and this just proves that she's a real crazy person. When she was trying to steal sperm of a dead man to conceive a child to secure her fortune with me publications. That is something that could possibly get a person killed in a real life. I'm sorry. Who would steal a dead man's sperm? Like, you're that desperate just to get the publications? Like, nah, my G, she needed to go for that. And this show, it always caught my attention because I think in each episode this season, there was always a plot, but there was always the drama. Like, every episode had some drama that was watchable and that was not that cringeworthy or cheesy at the same time. And I was kind of intrigued too because it had me on my feet to see what was going to happen next. And as for season 2, this was a good season to me. And if I were to give this a rating out of 10, I would give this a rating in between the 8 and the 8.5. A little crazy fact that I found out when I was reviewing things about the show was that part of the show was filmed in LA for like 2 seasons before in season 3 they actually filmed in New York City. That was weird. Like, I don't know how TV shows are able to do that, like film in one location and then characterize the entire show in a different place. Like, how are they able to do that? But anyways, season 3 was the first time that it was filmed in NYC, and we see that Betty returns after a month of inactivity from Mode magazine due to taking a vacation after the exhaustion of what Henry and Jill has somewhat caused her. And then when she returns, she decides that she wants to make a huge step in life, career and personal. Meantime, at Mode magazine, everything has been changed to like Willemia's Layer of Doom to me, because everybody was like dressed in like dark black. It made it seem like it was a funeral, and Daniel was no longer the editor after he was relieved of his duties the last season by Alexis, only to be the boss of another magazine called Player, before he eventually returns back to Mode, quote unquote, getting hired back in Mode after Willemia's first magazine sales was just booty cheeks. Man. Wilhelmina finally receives her baby, William, by her surrogate, Christina, who was a dress editor. And Christina, she was a good character. I really liked her a lot. And it only turns out that Christina's baby, who was supposed to be Wilhelmina's or Bradford's, was actually her own, as she had conceived with her boyfriend. And yes, oh my God. But I think the shocking plot twist throughout the season was that we saw Alexis meet for the last time in this season, as it was revealed that she was the actual father of Daniel Jr. And when I heard that, I was blown away, because Alexis Mead had a sex change. She's now a female, and she was the father of Daniel Jr. Ooh, man, that was shocking. And then she moves away to Paris with her son, and eventually she left the show together. And I do wish that she would have made some sort of appearance at season 4, but I understand that the actress that played her had to go due to being pregnant, and also it is what it is. Betty and Mark, they compete in Yeti, the young editor's training. I guess, I don't know what it means, I forgot. And by the end of the season, she became the newest features editor for Mode. And the way that she won it by a coin toss, they could have done it something different. Like, if I was the boss at Mode magazine and there was only like one job available for the features editor, I would have probably had Betty and Mark design a magazine where Yeah, design a magazine of like a different topic, and they can't have no help with anybody. They had to do this on their own, and whoever had the best design will win. But that's my personal opinion, and I see that many fans really thought that Mark deserved that opportunity because he was there for like 4 to 5 years before Betty, and I agree on that too. Like, Mark probably should have gotten that, and if the show hadn't gotten canceled, I believe that it could have still ended with how it did. Only making it like happen in season 5 or 6 if the ratings were still good. But I would say by the end of the season, it ended tragically for Daniel because he lost his wife due to cancer, and Betty's ex-boyfriend becomes her new boss after he saw Betty and Henry kiss and all because they were saying goodbye. And if I have to rate this season out of 10, I would give season 3 8.5. It would be in that range. So the 4th and final season, we see that Betty beginning her new job as a features editor for Mode magazine without having scorned reactions from Mark because he is pissed off at Betty for taking the job, for winning the job, as well with the brand new boss that she has to face, Matt, because of how things ended between the two, and he messes with her for a good couple of episodes. Some of the other plots that we saw was Daniel joining the cult, and the cult was like he could see his past loved ones that died, and he saw his wife, although he was drugged up and everything. Hilda, she became pregnant but tragically lost a baby, but she ended up meeting an old friend that her and Betty and Inoxio knew, and she became married by the end of the season. Her son Justin began a brand new relationship as well, and I liked Betty's appearance a lot in season 4. How they decided to change her appearance as well. No more bangs, new glasses, and everything. Only thing though is that I would have made the episode when she got her braces removed just a little bit sooner. I think I understand why they did that, because the show was ending and it got canceled, like a dang shame. And so in this season, we saw Wilhelmina having a soft spot in many episodes through the season, as she was dealing with a lot of personal mess as to like helping her daughter after she thought that her daughter caught a body, only to discover that her daughter was trying to blackmail her. And then after that, Wilhelmina cuts her out of her life for good, and it sucks. That is pretty sad, but that happens to a lot of families in real life, cutting off kids and everything. And that's how I feel too with a couple of my family members. Like, I don't like to cut them off, but this is not about me. And by the end of the season, she was finally appointed as the only editor-in-chief at Mode magazine after Daniel decides to leave in order to start over as something brand new. Because like he said, that he was given everything that he ever got, and he wanted to earn his things, and I did not blame him at all. Starting all over can be a rude awakening for some, but starting over can also help you improve than the first time around. And good for him. It was good for him. Amanda, we see she finally finds out who her father is. That was a good ending for her. And Betty, she gets an offer in London with a magazine producer to help start off a brand new magazine that the producer is making. And she accepts the job, and She leaves New York, she leaves all her family and everything, and she becomes a brand new editor for this magazine in London. And it seems that she is having a good time in London too. And she sees Daniel and they talk and all. And I always wonder what happened after the fact. I would probably say that maybe Daniel did go join her at her magazine, but who knows? That is up for anybody's discussion. But nonetheless, every character received a proper ending. Everyone received a positive ending, which was good to me. I'm glad that everybody got a happy ending instead of a sad ending. Although it really did suck that the show got canceled. And how I would rate this season out of 10, I would give this a solid 9. Yes, I would give this 9.5 range. And yes, Ugly Betty to me was a really good show, and it was very underrated. I can't believe that a lot of people don't know about it, although many do. Because I know my friends probably don't know about this, but it doesn't matter. But when that last episode ended, that last scene, I was sad, to be honest, because that show was really good. I really enjoyed that show a lot. And that is the end of this review. If you have any comments, anything, let me know in the comment section below. Please like and subscribe. And until next time, peace!